Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to Schizm. So, confession time, this is actually the third attempt I am making at recording this video. For some reason, the last two tries didn't even start recording. Like, it started recording when I hit what I thought was the stop recording button, because it's the same button, so I don't know what happened. Maybe I just didn't hit it hard enough or something, but I went through a Windows update on my computer, so maybe that, I don't know, kind of helped reset some stuff, who knows. Anyway, it seems like whatever this update did, it made the cursor not visible, because I just did a test recording to see if it went through, and it seems like it did. So, if you don't see the cursor on screen, then hopefully that's a good sign. I might try it again with the cursor next time just to see how it goes, but at the very least, I really want to get this recording out of the way, because I've been going through this a few times, and I just want to make sure everything is okay before I forget about all this stuff. I want to move on, and because I got a bunch of stuff in my head that I've been processing since the last video, and in the time that I've been trying to figure out this puzzle here. And I have good news, I was able to solve it. Bad news, I had to look up the solution. But I didn't actually understand the solution I looked up, so I actually spent time off screen after the first failed recording to try to understand it. So I actually did, quote-unquote, solve it on my own as far as the arrival at the solution, if that makes sense. Because I wanted to make sure I understood this so I could properly explain it in the video, alright? Because as it turns out, this puzzle is actually pretty devious, especially if you don't have the full context for it. So, at the end of the last video, you may recall that inside we had this issue with the coordinates that we found on the tablet there not working. Well, what you have to figure out is that you have to go and convert those coordinates to the correct ones, because it's basically like the tablet that we found, or the two tablets I should say, that we found earlier with the crossed out coordinates. So basically, the coordinates we found inside the cave over there, those would be the crossed out coordinates if they were on one of those tablets. So basically you have to look for a pattern that exists between the crossed out coordinates and the real coordinates across both the first and second destinations. The first one that Hannah came from and the one here. So here's what I did at first. I looked at the... actually, I'm going to punch in the first one. We're not going to go there. It's just I'm going to show you what the correct one is. So the crossed out ones in this case, I believe, are, let's see, this would have been the one. I don't actually have the pictures in front of me right now, but if I'm not mistaken, this would have been the second one, and then this would have been the third one, I believe. So and then I looked at the one for the second set, the one that's for here, and it was basically the same thing. There was an offset of 10 clockwise for the inner ring, or the middle ring, and then an offset of 5 clockwise for the the inner ring. So 10 clockwise in the middle, 5 clockwise in the inner one, and the outer one was the same. So then I looked at the right side, and it was a very similar story. The outer one was the same. The middle one was an offset of 1, so like the old one would have been here, I believe. And, wait, was it 1? Yeah, I think it was 1, and then this one would have been 4, so like this would have started here, and then the new one's here. So, I thought that was going to be the solution. So I took the coordinates inside, and I worked on the left side, put in, 10 ahead here, and then 5 ahead here, and then I did the right side, and I put in 1 ahead here, and 4 ahead here. That didn't work. So, the missing piece of information that I had to figure out, and this is pretty devious, but once you know that it exists, it's actually kind of clever. The missing piece of information is that the stuff we saw on the tablets are actually 3-digit numbers. And that the numbering system that we're using is not like the one we saw up in the telescope thing, in the last video and all that. That was a base 10 numbering system. This is a duodecimal system. This is not hexadecimal, a duodecimal. a base 12 numbering system. And you can see that here just by virtue of the fact that there are 12 unique symbols around the thing. So this is digit 1, this is digit 2, and this is digit 3. Or maybe more accurately, this would be digit 1, 2, and 3 if we were to read them left to right. Or right to left, I should say. So this. Uh, hang on one sec. So anyway, the whole nature of the puzzle that really threw me off was that in the left side for the two sets of coordinates we had earlier, there was some carryover happening between the arithmetic going on between the two numbers. And on the right side, there was not. However, in the solution for this set of coordinates, there is not carryover happening here, and there is carryover happening on the right side. So I actually had to break down the way this numerical system worked. And the best way I can explain this is by using this wheel here like a clock. Because in some ways, reading a clock is kind of like reading a base 12 numbering system. If you were to multiply minutes by 5, it's basically the way that would work. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So this middle ring, we're going to treat this like this is the hour hand. And then the inner ring, we're going to treat like it's the minute hand, right? So if we were to take the old set of coordinates that's not on display here, for the first thing, it would be 3, 6, 2. All right? 3, 6, 2. And then the new set of coordinates is 3, 4, 7. And we can see here, this is at 4, this is at 7. So for the sake of clarity here, this is going to be 0, the 12 position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So those are all the numbers in the system. The top position is 0. The 11 o'clock hand position is 11. So 3, 6, 2. You can see here the right side is 3. And then 6 would be down here. And 2 would have been here. And then the new version is 3, 4, 7. So that's the correct answer. So we have to calculate the difference between those two things as if it were in time. So 3, 6, 2, we're not going to worry about the 3 because that's the constant throughout all these, and there's nothing in any of these that seems to indicate that we're actually going to carry over the outer digit. So let's just focus on the two inner ones. So 6, 2. So 6 is easy. That's 6 o'clock. And 2, if we multiply that by 5, is 10. So that would be 6, 10. Okay? So you're tracking with me so far, right? And then the second digit is 3, 4, 7. Or the second number is 3, 4, 7. So the two digits that we need to worry about are 4 and 7. So if we were to translate that into a time, that would be 4 for the hour hand, and then 7 times 5 equals 35. So if you were to take 610 and subtract 435 from it, that's a time difference of 1 hour and 35 minutes, or 95 minutes. And if you were to divide 95 minutes by an increment of 5, which is what we're dealing with here with 12 numbers, so 12 times 5 is 60 in an hour, you would get 19. So there are 19 sets of 5 minutes that are being subtracted in both of these. And this actually rings true for the set of coordinates corresponding to the original location where Hannah was found as well. The initial state was 1025. The latter state was 850. So same difference, 135. So for the right side, we have a similar thing going on, except the difference is different. And it's not actually a subtraction equation, it's an addition equation. So for this one, for example, oh wait, we're on the first one still. I was thinking that we were doing the second one. My bad. Oh wait, no, this is the first one. I just wrote them in reverse order in my notes here. Okay, never mind. All right, so this one here, the initial state was 687, and then the correct state, as you can see here, is 6911. And I guess if you want to do this like with an A and a B here as unique identifiers instead of 10 and 11 just to make it less confusing, you could do that. So I wrote down B in my notes to correspond with 11 and A with 10. So anyway, if we were to take both of those things and convert them into times, we would have 835 for the first one. So because it's 8 and then 7. And then 955 right here because 9 and then 11 times 5. That's a time difference of 1 hour and 20 minutes. It's the same thing for the second set of coordinates. I'll go ahead and switch it over here. Second set of coordinates, the wrong answer was 9:15. And then the correct answer was 9:29. So in time, this would be 1:05 is 1:25. The correct time is 2:45, as can be seen right here. And again, the difference between 1:25 and 2:45 is a net time lapse of an hour and 20 minutes. You divide an hour and 20 minutes, or 80 minutes, by 5, you get 16. So we have negative 19 as the offset for this one, and positive 16 as the offset for this one. Okay, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the coordinates that we got inside. So the first set we got was 10, or A, I guess you could say, 1 and 9. This is what we were doing in the last video. And the second would be 3, 0, and 11, or A. So, or excuse me, 10. My bad. Not 11. So now we need to figure out how to offset all this stuff properly. So in order to do that, let's convert this to a time. This is 1:45. So let's rewind that by an hour 35 minutes. We will get 12:10. So that should be correct. And then on this side, we have 12:50 as the starting position right here. And we fast forward an hour 20 minutes, and we get 2:10. And if I'm not mistaken, this should be the correct answer. And by the way, I do have Hannah on the ship right here with me. So let's go ahead and see if this works. And we get an animation showing the thingy there, so that's a good sign. Alright, now we get that little segment there. And we go to a new place. Yay! Alright, so now it's time for what I consider to be one of the most infuriating puzzles in the game. At least so far, because this one... So, here's the thing about this game that I'm noticing. There's usually, like, a puzzle, and it gives you a set of variables that you have to figure out. But usually there's, like, one more leap in logic that you have to account for. You know, and that's one thing that I'm kind of not very good at here. Also, that doesn't look very good. It's kind of funny looking though. And this puzzle is an example of several leaps in logic, and it's partially due to the interface. But I believe the first thing we have to do to get this triggered, like there's the hint we can get from one of the natives here. We have to look at this and just try playing with it. So let me just roll that back. Okay. And I think if we walk over here, we'll get the hint. There we go. Heard Mattia there.
Yes, you must use your signaling lamp to produce a negative sequence of the one in the harbor. A negative sequence of the pattern you see.
That totally sounded like her lines were being read. So anyway, the sequence we see in the harbor, you may be wondering, what on earth is that about? Well, I'll go down and show you what's going on here, basically. Also, what's going on with the frame rate here? I hope this new Windows update didn't do anything weird with this game running on the computer. Alright. So, at long last... wait a minute, not there. We have to go out this way. At long last, we can finally look at the telescope. Yay. And actually, I think you can get some dialogue if you go up top to where the chair scooter thingy is, and realize that you can't actually get out. So I'll go there. It happens when you go back to the telescope. See, I go over there, and then we go back down. The way things trigger in this game is really weird.
But we have to do something. We have to. We're trapped here otherwise.
It sounds really weird. Like, is he talking to Hannah? Because they weren't talking before this. Anyway, we can look here, and you can see that there's a blurry image here, and 2 arrows, with one of them highlighted. And this is where things get a little iffy for me, because you'll notice here that there's a couple of baskets here that we can finally look at as well. And you can click on these lens-looking things, and nothing seems to happen. Like, you don't add them into your inventory, but you actually add them to the telescope, despite the fact that looking in the telescope doesn't actually seem to do anything. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But what you have to figure out on top of that is that if there's an up arrow, then you have lenses that you don't actually need. And I think this might actually be randomly generated, because I don't remember that being the case before. Let me try this. Oh wait, no, it was. Yeah, I think it was. Okay, so that's wrong, so let's get rid of that. So yeah, you have to just add lenses based on the arrows you see. It's like, we don't want that last one. Okay, that's fine. And that looks good. Okay, so let's go to this side. Okay, now it's starting to look a little better, even though we've got a lens we don't actually need. It's, like I said, the way this works is really strange. Yeah, you have to just keep on going until you get the right combo. And I don't really know how many different solutions there are to this, but that's the long, short, short, long. Okay, sorry, I was writing that sequence down. Let me look at that again. Long, short, short, long, long, short, long, long. Okay. So that's 10. Okay, I got a sequence of 8 and a sequence of 12 on my failed recordings. But anyway, what you have to do is you have to invert and reverse that sequence. And I'm going to remember to go in the elevator this time, because I've always had trouble remembering to go here and not up those stairs. Alright, oh, hi there.
You don't know what you're doing! Don't go there! You'll kill us all! That translation doesn't just mean wanderer. It means it's still the good servant. Its original task is to protect them from all.
Did he say protect the population? I couldn't quite make that last part out. Anyway, let's enter this, even though he's told us otherwise. And I'm going to write out the reversed version here. So it should be short, 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 long, short, short, long, long, short, short, which is 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that looks correct. Short, 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 long, short, short, long, long, short, short. Was that not right? Let me take a look at the sequence again. Whoa, the music was just like sudden there. Alright. Let me just make sure I copied this down correctly. I thought I did. But evidently not. So it should be long, long, short, short, long, long, short, 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 long, long. Oh wait, was it only 2 longs at the end? It was. Okay, so it actually is 9. Okay, let's do that then. So let me eliminate the first short then in front of my proposed sequence, and we should have what we need to go. Okay. So we do short, short, long, short, short, long, long, short, wait. Short, short, long, short, short, long, long, short. Okay, got it. And we have to rewind this to 9. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so now the tentacle thing has
Beat it. Now, what's
a
it
place to
do?
go.
Go ahead or go back? It could be a trap.
Or tests. For all we know, this wanderer or good servant, whatever it's called, might be the key for bringing everyone home. We just can't wait around.
Alright. Well, it may be a trap, but it's the only option we've got. So might as well do it. I'll continue playing as Sam just because we've got the inventory for it. For who knows what, I guess. Alright, so we just need to go up here. And we're off. Let's see what this island has in store for us. Oh, hi there.
God, you must help us. Mati is not just a defense system, it's a custodian device, the cultural heart of these people. Priest is doing the right thing. Mati was meant to bring the Argelans home once the possibility of contamination. That hasn't happened. Some Argelans didn't want to be isolated. They wanted contact with other worlds. They found a way to link through to us in this prison zone. We never realized that Mati would now see them as contaminated too. That the whole population is tainted and desperate last resort. The Wanderer isn't a treasure. It may be a doomsday device after all. Matya doesn't seem to understand that we weren't plundering and pillaging, that we were studying, trying to help, trying anything to make contact. It doesn't know that the Argelans wanted one of us.
Okay, so that's interesting. It seems like this Wanderer is some kind of safety device or AI or something. Alright, so I made it to this point. I actually looked at a couple puzzles up here, but I wasn't able to solve anything. What I do know is that these symbols here appear to reference stops along the way of this tram thing. And I believe this is the one that corresponds there. I'm going to go to this one. Or not, apparently. What happens if I turn it around? I know you can turn this around. Does it work from here? No, okay. That one does, though. Alright, so we go into a deep, dark tunnel. And out of the tunnel. So the way this works is really weird, because it stops, like, here. And, oh, it didn't do it that time. But I think there's one set of symbols, I think it's this one, where you go forward, but then you stop and then you backtrack. So I think what's supposed to happen is that you're supposed to keep going, but then you stop and then you go back. So I think that symbol is supposed to take you there, but then it takes you here. Alright, so I think we need to get off over here. There's also a thing, and I guess this indicates that that's the symbol for this station. You can try crossing over to the other side, but I actually already tried that earlier. It doesn't actually work, nor can you go inside the tunnel at all. So, let's keep on going. So there are a couple of interesting things I noticed here. I haven't been able to solve either of them, but first of all, there's this. Actually, this is 3 interesting things. There's this door, and it has 4 symbols on it. And I already took a picture of those, so I'm not really going to do to belabor that point for now.
The tracks lead here. It has to be important.
Exactly.
Wish I knew what I was looking at.
I know, it looks pretty cool, whatever that is. I want to see it. Also, did I forget to shut off Facebook? I probably did. Anyway, this contraption here has been really fun to work on. So, what I think is the objective is that you're supposed to connect this side with this side, but then there are little things that pop up here in these little indentations that prevent you from doing that. So I'll give you an example. So it sets that up for me. Now if I do this, it's going to pop up with something there. In fact, it already did it. Yeah. And you can only lay down 8 of these things, so tough luck if you can't make it an 8. Yeah, see, the problem with this thing is that no matter what you do, there's always going to be one section of track that will be missing when you're done, right? Oh, that's not good. Yeah, see, it always manages to block your way. And I tried all kinds of things here with respect to where you start and end, and, you know, what kinds of things you lay down. And even if you alternate where you lay stuff down, it doesn't seem to do any good. And I can't get rid of the purple things, the barriers. Let me back away here. So yeah, I don't know exactly how you would solve this. I don't really see a way to interact with any of the other elements here. I'm wondering if you have to start, like, because you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Okay, yeah, you couldn't actually make that work. Never mind. Let's start with this, then. Yeah, it always just blocks you. It's... I don't get how this is supposed to work. It's really weird. But I'm wondering if this has something to do with making the train go all the way. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. And the thing is, it does things differently every time. There's not really an ultimate form of predictability here. I just wish I knew how to outsmart this thing. Like, I don't get how it's supposed to work. Maybe you're supposed to start with pieces of track that make it a little bit less obvious. But I mean, even if you did, like if I did this, guess what's going to happen? That's going to go there. Yep. See, like that. But starting in the middle may not be such a bad idea, though. Yeah, I should have known. Like, no matter what, you're going to have to connect 2 pieces, and this thing is going to inevitably prevent you from doing it, you know? I'm wondering if maybe this is used as like a decoy type thing. Like if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... You could, like, make one that's a fake out, you know? Ah, never mind. Should have known that was coming. But still, the idea might have some merits. I am curious to know. Oh, you've got to be kidding, really? So maybe, I'm thinking here, I'm wondering if there's a way you can ensure there's always going to be 2 choices, like between where you could potentially go, and I'm wondering how to make that happen, so to speak. So, like this right here, I could theoretically bridge the whole thing, right? I mean, but then that's when things start closing up like that. That's where things get a little iffier. So if I do like 4 with verticals here, let me try something. Of course it did that. I think we're onto something here, but I'm not sure if that's really the way to go. Maybe if I do this. So I've laid down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I can't win this now. I'm out now. Oh no, I get 9. Wait a minute. Maybe I actually get unlimited, but once it's clear that I can't make it, the game forces me out. Let me see how far I can go with this. Okay, so maybe once it becomes unwinnable for good, that's when I'm forced out. Okay, so in that case, okay, that kind of changes the game up a little bit. That kind of changes things, because now we actually have some reason to rejoice. See, now I've created a situation where I could cross over to either of these, which is exciting. So I think that's the key to this. You have to create scenarios where you're ultimately going to be able to choose between two possibilities. I think that's how you're going to have to do it. So it's kind of a parity problem of sorts, if that makes sense. Okay, that's unwinnable, but I think you see what I mean. Like, you have to create situations in which you're always faced with two potential options. Like, am I making sense here? I don't know if I'm making any sense or not. See, there it's too late, because at that point we're pretty much sunk. But if I create enough stuff going on here in the middle, see, I probably should have bridged that, but let me try it again. It's interesting how this whole thing is not that predictable. Okay, I need to connect those two, or else we're sunk. See, now it could just follow me all over the place. That's the problem. You don't want it to be able to follow you everywhere. Yeah, that's not winnable. This is fascinating. Not gonna lie, this is really fascinating. Oh, come on, really? It's really this middle section that feels like the crux of the whole puzzle. Yeah, that's not winnable. I wish I could draw things here, but see, the problem is that when you start going on a different axis, then it could start, maybe that's not the right way to put it, but when you start going on a different thing, then you start drawing a path, is what I'm trying to say here. That's when things get a little more predictable, and that's when trouble starts. See, now I can get boxed in there like that. So now, yes, yeah, there we go. Oh, wait, do I have to do it again? Okay, what's it gonna do now? I'm scared. There we go. Okay, that looks like it's on level. Is that it? Okay, I think we solved it. Okay, so that was a cool puzzle. I really liked that a lot. Oh my goodness. It feels really good to solve a puzzle on my own after what happened during the failed recordings. Oh, man. Okay, so that's cool. And it happened on camera, hopefully, providing this recording actually goes through. Before I move on, though, I want to go over here Because there's some stuff here that I found toward the... Wait a minute. There's a whole other door here. Did I just miss that when I was... I did miss it. There's also a symbol up here. And I noticed there was a symbol over here that looked familiar. Yes, it looks like this. Very similar, actually. Oh, no. Okay. Well, I'm wondering, do we have to duplicate what we saw in the other door? First of all, what does the other symbol look like? I just want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. It looks like this, except this top part is filled in. I don't know what the significance of that is, but... I didn't notice this door was even here. But if we can enter in the same combination, I'll at least give it a shot. Not that I'm expecting that to work or anything. Okay, that was the first symbol. And the second one was like that, but 90 degrees sideways. Like that. Then the third one looked like a hangman gallows thing, you know, from the word game. Was that it? No. It was like that, but reverse. There we go. And then the other one was that L. Yeah, there we go. That thing. Nothing. Maybe we have to reverse them. So let's go with the L. Like that. The gallows thing. I'm going to call it the breaker switch, like it's pointed to the right. Nope, that didn't work either. I don't know, that's an interesting conundrum to crack there. Why is this here like this? Like, why do we see these symbols? I'm actually going to draw all the symbols, because I have a hunch about this. First of all, are all these symbols in this sequence? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, or 12, okay. So there's 12 symbols. So I'll write down all 12. There's the breaker switch. There's this sort of missing breaker switch. This one, which is kind of the reverse of that. And then there's this one, that's the L shape, or zigzag shape. The reverse zigzag shape. The I shape. The hangman gallows pointed to the left. The gallows pointed to the right. The toilet plunger, I'll call it. A T, I guess it's T for toilet. And then we get sort of the same breaker switch thing, except it has a line on the bottom now. Okay, so that's about it. So are these all the same? I just want to make sure, but it looks like the answer is yes. These definitely look like the same order I just drew. Okay, this... Yep, looking good. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. Wait, before we keep going, I just saw something. Sorry, I have to make sure I take a look at this. Is that anything? No, okay. You never know. Anything that looks out of place, I have to make sure I investigate it. Elevator. Okay, let's take a look at this. And we can go up, which I didn't actually go to last time, so I kind of want to go down first, and it looks like that's actually my only option. I think I have to open up this net door thing, whatever it is. Is this the bottom or the middle? There we go. Alright, so this is pretty much where I ended the last video. Or the failed video, I should say. So there's some controls here. I can use them. But the drawbridge doesn't quite draw. So that's a bit of a problem. But there's good news. There's another path over here. Also, is that anything? No, it's not. There's this other way to go, which is this way. There's also a couple of wee-wee things, although I don't really know what this does. I didn't really experiment with it last time. Sounds like there's like a waterfall or something going here. I guess we're pumping water? I don't really get it, but oh well.
There's someone over there. Doesn't look like a ghost.
So what's he doing there?
Looks like one of the scientists being held in a cell.
Bum, bum, bum. Alright, so there's a scientist being held in a cell, and we got a doohickey to work with here. A doohickey that we can finally use our inventory on. And you can see here that this is a little thing here showing the some of the symbols that we saw earlier on that slider. And I saw this in the failed video, but I didn't see that slider thing. That's why I was noting the symbols down there. So I don't really know what the significance of this is. Are we supposed to just find the odd one out or something? So there's 5 symbols in each set. I don't really know how we're supposed to find the correct ones. But I'm assuming once we do, this thing is going to be solved. So I'm going to note which symbols are noted in are seen in each rows, and maybe that will help us. So I think that top one is the gallows one. That, if I can find it, there it is. Kind of looks like a J. Sort of like a J, I guess. I kind of drew it wrong, but I'm just going to put 1, 1, since it's the first one on the first row. This one would be 1, 2. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, these are still the same. Alright, so this is 1, 3. 1, 4. And then finally this is 1, 5. Alright, so then we get this. This is 2, 1. This was seen as 1, 4 before. This is 2, 2. That's the one that hangs to the left, 2, 3. And then 2, 4 over there, and then 2, 5. I think that's the I shape, yeah. Alright, so then moving on to row number 3. We get the T shape as number 1, 3, 1. And then we get this one as 3, 2. This one is 3, 3. This was also 2, 4. And then we get 3, 4. Oh, man, this was also 1, 4, and 2, 1. This symbol's kind of popular. And then this is 3, 5. Okay, good. Alright, so the last set, this is 4, 1. This was also 2, 4, and 3, 3. This is 4, 2. 4, 3. 4, 4, and 4, 5. Now, what did we just accomplish? I don't know what we just did there, but we should have recorded 20 instances of these things. So 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 19, 20. Okay. So what I was wondering is that maybe you're supposed to find, like, symbols that are unique in each thing, but I'm not actually seeing that. So for instance, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1, 3, those symbols are the only time they appear among the 20 here. So that's not any good. 1, 4, and 1, 5 are both shared by other rows as well. So that's kind of curious. So maybe we're supposed to focus on the ones that are shared. And there's only 6 of those. So is there anything there that makes sense? Well, I'm noticing something interesting here. One of them has all 5s. It's this one, I believe. This one right here. And which is also this one. And maybe if the position is important, then that's also where it's supposed to go in the sequence? I don't know. There's only 4 rows. I don't know. I don't see this. I know that there's like an additional leap in logic that I have to... Oh, what are you doing? Hey there. Gonna say something? He's not saying anything. That's weird. I know there's like one additional piece of the puzzle that I have to figure out here, but I don't know exactly what it is. So, I thought maybe you have to find like the unique one in each row, but 1 has 3 unique ones, and then there's 2, which has 1 unique one. No, 2 unique ones. 3 has no unique ones. And then 4 has 1 unique one. And that's about as far as I can go. What happens if we just go like 1, 2, 3, 4? Does that do anything? See, I don't even know if we're going to be doing... If this is going to actually achieve anything. Because, I mean, for all I know, this is just going to give us the combination, right? Maybe we're supposed to set this in here, and then whatever it comes up with will be the correct answer. So let's do that, and then back away. It will be the first one. Does that save itself? It doesn't. That's a little... That's not exactly reassuring. See, I don't think it would be a matter of setting it, because otherwise it would stay the same when we zoomed back into it. So I don't think that's it. Also, if that were the case, then why would we be allowed to slide these around? I mean, that makes no sense, right? So I don't think that's the answer. I have a new idea. What if... Oh wait, no, never mind. That's not going to work because there's nothing unique in row 3. I'm going to just make sure I read these correctly, but I think I did. Yeah, that definitely has a line over it. Yeah, I don't think I read these incorrectly. So... Yeah, I am really stuck on this. I don't know what to make of it. He's gone again. I don't know where he is, the prisoner guy. I'm just going to look at my notes here until I find something that looks feasible. And I might end the video here soon because we're almost out of time, if not already. But... So 1, 1 and 4, 4 There's one that's unique to the 4th position. And then there's 2 for 2, and then there's 2 for 3. The problem is that 1 is already accounted for with 1 1. So there's a 2 and a 3 in 1, but the other 2 and 3 is in 2, so it can't be both correct. So that's never mind that theory. That was a dumb theory. Yeah. I think I'm just going to end the video here. I don't want to meander too much more on camera. But hopefully next time, I'll try to get a hint and work from there. Hopefully next time we'll get something. But until then, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the flip side.